Well, hello everybody. I'm Donna from Simple Retirement Journey, and I thought I'd chat a little bit today. It is the first week of November, and I can't believe that the end of the year is coming up quickly upon us. And Sunday morning, we had the on. Well, hello everyone. I am Donna from Simple Retirement Journey, and I just thought I'd chat a little this morning. It is the first Monday in November, and I can't believe that the year is almost over. But we had our reality check over the weekend, daylight savings time. We set our clocks back an hour. So I guess that means winter is coming because we changed all our clocks, right? Last week was a busy week for me. I decided to clean my one spare bedroom. I have a 3-bedroom home. I bought it 30 years ago. And when I purchased it, both of my children were still at home. And I knew my daughter was getting married a year after we moved in. So that was always going to be the guest bedroom. And it still is the guest bedroom. Well, then the grandchildren arrived, and that became the toy bedroom. So even now I've got 2 little ones that are in elementary school. And when they walk in the door, they head straight for the toy room. And I decided there's a lot of toys that the kids just don't play with anymore. They're getting older. So I made the difficult decision. It was time to downsize the toys. And I did pretty good for a while, but I was making sure all the blocks were in the right containers and everything. I got a little teary-eyed. I was kind of surprised, and I had to walk out of the room and tell myself it was okay. I was okay after a couple hours. I just had to mull over it, and I think the sad part, it's not really sad, but we had a lot of fun when the kids were preschoolers building all these towers and houses and cars and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just remembering the fun times that we had, and my memories will stay with me forever. I don't need to keep all these toys. So I boxed them up, and they're still sitting out in my garage. I haven't gone to Goodwill yet, but they're going to Goodwill. And some of these toys I had bought at garage sales when the grandkids came along. So they weren't even my children's toys. They were the grandchildren's toys. I kind of overdid it when they were little, but I enjoyed it. And then I got to thinking, I have a bed in this bedroom. And I thought, well, when was the last time I washed the sheets and the comforter and everything? And I'm going, it's been a long time. So I washed those. And then I have curtains in there. So I washed the curtains, and I also have blinds. So I wiped down the blinds, and I vacuumed, pulled all the furniture out, rearranged the bedroom. And I had the sniffles for about 2 or 3 days afterwards because I have dust allergies, and I moved the dust around. So I put I have a HEPA filter. So I put that in the bedroom for a couple days. But actually, the bedroom smells fresher. It doesn't have, I guess it was beginning to get a bit of a dusty smell. And then last week, changing the subject a little bit, I raise garlic every year. And I harvest it in July, and then about this time of the year, I save the best for the last, and I plant them. Well, I've noticed for the last month or so, in my daughter's, in the guest bedroom, it was smelling kind of oniony in there, and I couldn't figure out why. I keep all my pantry stuff in this closet in this spare bedroom. And I kept sorting through the onions thinking, well, do I have an onion that's going bad? No, it wasn't an onion. When I went through my garlic, I discovered that some of the garlic was starting to go bad. And I've never had trouble with garlic going bad before. And you could tell if you ever buy a clove of garlic, there's this paper thin, papery stuff around the garlic cloves. And it looked like there was a little bit of mold growing around them. So I threw out about half of my garlic, and some of it, I was able to plant some, and I've got some others that I'm keeping in the refrigerator. They're kind of, I must have picked them when they were a little past their ripeness. They were a little over mature, so I must have picked them a little too late this year. So I put the best of the best out in the garden, and then the ones that were kind of questionable, they're in my refrigerator. I think they'll be okay. And then about half of them I threw out because you could just tell. And fortunately, when I grow garlic and onions, I like to make tomato sauce and salsa. So I use all my fresh veggies and I cook them all down together. So I use quite a bit of my garlic already. And that's kind of a nice thing about canning your own food, is when I make tomato sauce, I put everything in there. The garlic, I love garlic. The garlic and the onions. And then when I make spaghetti throughout the winter, all I have to do is brown the meat and add the tomato sauce, and I'm good to go. So anyways, my daughter's bedroom smells a little bit better because that oniony smell, which was really garlic, is gone. And her room just seems more grown up. Before I rearranged the bedroom, it looked like a kid's room, and now it looks more like, an adult could go in there and read a book, or, even spend the night. It doesn't look like a children's room anymore. So that's kind of good. But that was a 2 or 3 day adventure. And then what else did I do? Oh, Friday morning, on Friday morning, I decided to declutter all the files in my computer, which is a bit of a challenge. The last computer I bought, there's access to the cloud, and then you've got your files on the C drive. And so I sat down and went through trying to organize things to keep them all together. When I bought my current computer, I went to a big box store, and they moved all my files from my old computer to my new computer, and they didn't do a very good job. And I've had this computer about 4 years now, and it's still a mess. So I gingerly go through the files and try to put everything together. And then I bought, and then in prior years, you could use WinZip, which zips all your files, and it was free for a really long time. And then earlier this year, all of a sudden you had to start paying for it. And I had zipped some files. So I went ahead and I paid for it. And then I keep getting all these notices saying, you've got duplicate files. You need to clean it all up. So after I bought the year subscription, I thought, oh good, I can get rid of all the duplicate files. Well, now you have to buy the Pro program. And I thought, I'm not buying the Pro program. So I've been slowly trying to go through some of my files and identifying what are duplicates. And I enjoy photography, so I have a lot of files, photo files. And one little tip I've learned throughout the years is when I move when I move the photos from my camera to my computer, I always create a file for that month. I this is November, so November 25. If I do anything special, I will make a folder in November. Like Thanksgiving's coming up. I'll probably take my camera to Thanksgiving dinner and I'll take pictures of the festivities. So I'll put all those Thanksgiving Day files in its own little folder. So I do try to organize my pictures because I take a lot of pictures. And I've discovered over the years, I was looking for something, and from October of 2020, I was looking for fall trees. And here I'd thrown like 300 pictures, all of fall trees. And I thought, oh my gosh, I got to sort through these. So sometimes when I do a big photo shoot, for me, you know, taking 100, 150 pictures, I do try to put them in a file, and I'll put the date that I took the pictures. So there's a decluttering housekeeping tip if you're into computers. And then Sunday morning, I woke up at 5:30 in the morning because of the time change. It was really 6:30. And I thought, what am I going to do? I was wide awake because I was still on the old time. So I decided to do a load of laundry. And my load of laundry was a bit of a problem. That when it reached the spin cycle, I could hear my washer. My washer, I figured out, is about 26 years old. So it's the top loading. It's got the big paddle thingy in the middle. Well, I could hear this strange noise coming out of the laundry room, and the paddle thing was really struggling. And then I heard click, 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 and then it stopped. I'm going, oh crap. I hope that's a good word. So I had an extra large load of dark clothes in there, and the washing machine's full of water. I have all these clothes, so I started taking them out. I tried rinsing out the water as much as I could with my hands and putting them in a big bucket, and then I'd take the clothes to the bathtub to store there. And so I get to the bottom of my washer, and come to find out, I have it with me. I'll show you in a second. I had a long sleeve t-shirt that somehow got entangled at the very bottom of the turning thing, and that's what stuck. That's what got it stuck. So here it is, you know, full tub of water, and I'm trying to pull this thing out. It was quite the experience. So at first, when I started pulling the garment out, the rotator thing was going around pretty good, and then it stopped altogether. And I thought, what am I going to do now? And I couldn't really get out scissors and go in the water and cut up the garment. I wasn't sure what to do. So I kept on pulling, and fortunately, it is a knit t-shirt, and I was able to pull it. So here is my poor t-shirt of shame. Trying to figure it out now. So this, I'm making a mess here. Let me turn it off real quick. Okay, I think I got it. This is the collar, the top of the shirt. And somehow a sleeve went awry. I don't know what the sleeve did, but here's the sleeve. And here's the top of the shirt. So I was able to tear this apart, and I eventually got it out. And there's a couple other spots here that it tore. And here's another spot it tore. So anyways, I was able to get the shirt out from under the thing in the middle. I don't know what you call it. I've used about 3 different names for it already. So I was able to get it out. And then I turned the washing machine back on, and the water started draining out. And I thought, oh, this is good. So I gingerly started adding some of the clothes back into the washing machine. And the thing that goes around in the middle, it started working. I want to call it a paddle now. I don't know if that's what the correct term is. So it started working. So I ran to the bathroom and got the rest of the wet clothes and put them back in the washing machine. And it worked after that. So I thought, oh, good. But I'm still kind of scared that it's going to croak on me again. So this morning, and I have 2 bathrooms. I have one bathroom that's, I don't use it a whole lot. So I wash the hand towels, and the bath towels aren't real thick. They're more for decorative. So I washed those this morning, and the washing machine worked just fine. But that was my adventure yesterday morning, was unsnarling one of my favorite shirts from last year out from under the big thing in the middle of your washing machine. So that made me think, I was kind of calculating when I bought the washing machine, and my son was still living at home when I bought it, and he's been married 25 years, so I'm thinking the washing machine's at least 26. So that got me to thinking it's probably time to start saving up for a washing machine. And I'm very thankful that it didn't die on me completely yesterday. That was my housekeeping snafu for the week. And one last thing I want to talk about. This was the fun part for me. November 1st is National Bison Day. And we have they call it a park. They call it a park, but it's a private place. But there is a man that had a couple hundred acres, and his wife was dying of cancer, and they discovered that bison meat is good for you. And I've read up on it. Bison meat is good for you. So he bought a few bison and started a herd so he could, eat the bison. Kind of like having a cow. You grow cows for food, and so he did it with the bison. Well, his wife unfortunately died. I think he started this bison herd about 20 years ago. But over time, he's purchased additional land, and now he has 400 acres, and he's got I don't know how many bison he has, probably around 20 or so. And then he's got a small herd of elk. And he opens this private park, they do call it a park, to the public. It's usually every Saturday, but on National Bison Day, it was free to the public. So I've been several times. And it was really kind of fun last Saturday. They bought additional land in the last year or two. So they've expanded the bison fields. I don't know what you call them. I'm a city kid, can you tell? So they've expanded the fields that the bison roam in. And then they've done this very well. They've got, I guess it's cattle panel. They look like they're cattle panel. They're fences with big squares in them. And I think the fences are like 10 feet tall. So they've got all the fields very carefully partitioned off by these huge fences, which I'm calling cattle panels. I could be wrong. And they've got the double wide gates. So anyways, no, excuse me. They put they put the bison way back in the fields, and they opened up parts of the park so you could walk through it. And part of it was very pretty. When you arrive there, there's a nice pond in the front. And then you walk back a ways, I don't know, a quarter of a mile. And then they have this huge hill. We're at the top of the hill, and then you have to walk down the hill. It's quite a slope. So you walk down there, and that's where all the bison pretty much are. And as you walk down the side of the hill, it's very wooded. It's very pretty. In the springtime, they have a lot of trillium plants, and it's just gorgeous when you walk through there in the spring. So I always enjoy that, and I went with a girlfriend, and it was a perfect day. The weather was in the mid-50s, and we had light jackets on, and it wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, and we just talked. And, you know, women, we like to talk. And then we got down to the bottom of the hill, and then they had opened up this new acreage they had purchased. And again, they have the tall fences. So it was kind of nice. We'd never walked back there before. And at the very end of it, they had a little hayride you could go on. So we went on that. And his property, this park's property, is adjacent to farming fields. And if you live in Indiana, you don't go very far when you see fields. I just love seeing the fields. And they had hay out there, and they had the bales of hay. And it is just, I don't know, there's something serene about that. And it was just a really pleasant day. I think we were probably there about 3 hours. And I really enjoyed doing that on Saturday. So that was my week. I had a pretty good week. And this week, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I haven't done much videoing, so I'm going to get caught up on that. And kind of tail end, I usually give an update on my budget every month. So I'm trying to put that together. And if you've listened to me this long, I appreciate you coming along. And if you like what you saw today, please click on the like button. I can't talk. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear what other people have to say. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It helps me, and it helps get my channel out to other people who have similar lifestyles. And I'm really enjoying the community that I'm developing here. I started a Let's Talk on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we just talk for about an hour, and my viewers are growing. It's kind of fun to get to know people from all over the place. Last week we had somebody from Switzerland, so that was kind of cool, having somebody from a different country come in and chat for a while. So I hope you stop by on Thursdays and chat and get to know each other. So this is me for the week, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the week, and take care. Bye.